What's up, guys? It's meteorologist Andrea Myers bringing you guys your daily hail forecast. Sponsored as always by C3 Group, Merlin Law Group, and American Contractor. You guys can go ahead and check them out in the description to this video. Today we've got the last day of Storm System Brandon moving off the coast. With that, we do have tornadoes, severe wind, and a little bit of hail possible. So we'll take a look at the outlook for that. And then we get a short break from storms, like a day, and then things are back into full swing. By the weekend, we should have a couple storm systems moving through, and then Carter could possibly be on the horizon for the beginning of next week. So going to take a look at all of those setups in a moment. But first, going into our upcoming events, the first and only of those for now is going to be Beacon Grand Opening. This is going to be in Aurora, Colorado. So if you guys are some of our Colorado clients or just like to go visit the Rocky Mountain area, head out to Aurora. This is at 14200 East Moncrief Place on April 14th. So come out and see us at the grand opening, and you can have a chance to win a new UTV. So if UTVs interest you, or Hail Trace, or Beacon's grand opening, any of that, come out and see us there, and we will be happy to get in contact with you guys. Now so before we get into yesterday, we're going to take a look at what happened over the last 24 hours here, because we did have a fairly active day for the Southeast yesterday. So if you guys are in Alabama, Mississippi, Tennessee, parts of Kentucky, Louisiana, this whole area just got hit pretty hard with that system as it passed eastward through the area. So started out a little bit quiet in Arkansas in terms of severe activity, not a ton of reports coming in. But then once things ramped up by the early afternoon hours, you can see all of those wind reports starting to come in, and then we got those tornado reports moving through just north of New Orleans area. And then we got a few in the Jackson, Mississippi area, in and around Jackson, as well as in and around Mobile, Alabama. There were a few tornadoes. And then through the Tuscaloosa, Montgomery, and Birmingham area, there were also some tornadoes that spun up yesterday evening into yesterday night. So very active day in terms of tornadic activity as well as severe wind. Now, there wasn't a ton of hail, but there was enough. So this is a quarter report that came in out of just north of Pensacola, Florida here. And with that system, there was actually a 3-star map. So we're going to take a look at that here. Again, mostly wind and tornadoes into yesterday, but we did get a little bit of hail as well. So that 3-star map was for Pace, Gonzales, and Milton, Florida. And so here's our map here. The max size in that was those golf balls that occurred just north through of Pensacola through the Pace area. Over the naval base got hit with some golf balls. Impacted almost 21,000 homes with that storm, so kind of ramped up there. This was all wind driven because yesterday again was a wind event, so this was all wind driven hail. Quarters starting out just northwest of Bellevue, and then the storm moved off to the northeast through the Milton area and then kind of tapered off, and it was back to wind after that. But we did have a little bit of a spin up storm that produced a little bit, some golf ball size hail, got us a 3-star map for hail yesterday. Now into today, it should be yet another windy day for most of you guys along the East Coast. Tornadoes possible, so if you're anywhere along the East Coast right now, just stay very in tune with your local weather for this afternoon and evening. But for the rest of us, it should be pretty clear and dry, kind of cool across the U.S. after this cold front has pushed through. But if we take a look at that frontal system, now again, this is Storm System Brandon, getting ready to hop off the East Coast here by tonight. But right now it's setting up through the far eastward part of the Southeast. We've got 2 tornado watches out through North and South Carolina, as well as Florida and Georgia. Both of those are for possible isolated tornadoes, as well as wind gusts up to 65 miles an hour on the southern one, 70 on the northern one. Either way, damaging winds possible with this line as it continues to gain a little bit of intensity into this afternoon with that peak heating. Then farther up to the north, we still have that low pressure system sparking these storms through Pennsylvania, New York, West Virginia. Those are staying a little more isolated on the north end, and with some of those loner storms, again, we could get that rotation on those. And we do have a little bit more instability through this area, so that could fuel maybe a hailstone or 2 above quarter size, but it should, again, mostly be a damaging wind kind of day for this system as it continues to track eastward. Like I said, cool across the country after that's passed through. 33 degrees in Kansas City, so just hovering right above freezing today at noon. Dallas is at 60, 67 in Houston, so a little bit warmer for you guys. And then once we get out ahead of that system, 64 degrees in New York City, 84 in Miami, 67 in Atlanta, just behind that cold front. So it's going to continue to cool down for you guys into the later part of tonight. And then we'll wait for that reheating, wait for that instability to return, and then see if we can get Storm System Carter on the horizon. Also very dry today, so dew points in the 20s through the Kansas-Oklahoma border area, 35 in Dallas, 49 degrees in New Orleans. Now again, right ahead of that system is where we're having some better instability, that daytime heating, that humidity that we need to form those storms, and that's what they're moving right into, that environment there. So 69 degrees in Miami, 54 degrees in Boston for our dew points. So again, that should just help fuel those storms and help those continue to maintain their strength as they track eastward here. So for what we have into the next coming hours, so the southern part of this band is again setting up through the Carolinas as well as Georgia and Florida right now. More of a consistent band through that area, so any rotation that can form will likely be in that form of that just linear mode storm system that spins up some tornadoes here and there. So this is by noon right now. Then it's going to continue to track eastward by 2 p.m., making its way through Raleigh, as well as into the Jacksonville area and Savannah, Georgia, getting some loud thunderstorms, as well as, again, some gusty winds with those. I'm going to continue to move off the coast, and then by around 8 p.m., starting to move just eastward, lingering still a little bit in North Carolina, but then it's starting to make its way down into Tampa, Florida area with that band of thunderstorms. And then those are going to kind of linger near the Tampa area, so should get a lot of rain through there. But for the rest of us, those storms are going to be off the coast and out of our hair by tomorrow morning. And then we wait for the next system to move through. Now for the north, it's going to be similar, but there are going to be some little tweaks to how that forecast looks into this afternoon. So it's not going to be as solid of a band as it moves through central Pennsylvania by 3 p.m. here. We still have some breaks in that, especially through Virginia and West Virginia, and with that, again, we could get some supercell structures possibly forming tornadoes, as well as a couple of singular hailstones into this afternoon. That's going to be very scattered, but this line is likely to produce some damaging straight line winds as well as rotating storms into this afternoon and evening. Here we are by 7 p.m. now, making our way into Albany, New York, as well as the DC area, and then by a little later, 10 p.m., moving our way into New York City, as well as getting ready to make our way into Boston for the late night hours. And that's going to continue with that rotating storm threat, with that damaging wind threat, and then those should be off the coast by around 3 a.m. And then again, quiet, cool to start our day tomorrow. So our hail forecast for tomorrow is going to be very limited for the next 24 hours for today. So starting in southern Pennsylvania, working our way down into south central Virginia here, we could have quarters possible anywhere through that region. So if you guys are in Washington, D.C. area, if you guys are in far southern Pennsylvania, or again, south central Virginia, that's where we could have a chance for a quarter or two with those storms, but there's just not a ton of instability. There's enough to continue with those damaging winds that we're seeing, but there's just not enough to really maintain that hail threat for today. So quarters to half dollars, actually just quarters through that area. No half dollars, but there will be some wind for us into later this afternoon and evening. So from New York, we actually already had a few tornado warnings through this area as well as severe thunderstorm warnings. So this threat is ongoing through the area. But if you guys are in New York all the way down to Florida along the East Coast, we could get wind gusts in the 60 to 73 mile an hour range, as well as some rotation on those as well. So starting down in the Florida Peninsula area, if you guys are in Tampa or Jacksonville, got a chance for some tornadoes into today. A lot of straight line winds possible as well. Low end chance for Tampa for rotation and for tornadic thunderstorms. But then once we get up to Jacksonville, Savannah, Charlotte, and Wilmington, that's when we could see a little bit more spin on those storms moving through the area. So we could see, again, straight line winds as well, and then possible rotating thunderstorms producing tornadoes in your area. So just, again, be very in tune with your weather into this afternoon and evening as that threat passes through. The best chance for tornadic activity as well as damaging straight line winds is likely going to be where we have our highest instability. Again, it's not a ton of instability, but that low pressure system isn't messing around and it is producing quite a bit of wind already. So through Washington, D.C. and Philadelphia, going to have a high chance of seeing some sort of severe wind activity into this afternoon and evening. And this is going to be a better chance for seeing some tornadic activity as well. Lower and down once we get into Albany, once we get north of that instability and into that cooler condition. But then again, down south into Richmond, got a moderate chance for you guys as well to see some damaging wind gusts into this afternoon. So that's going to be what we're going to see for our wind risk into today. And then Brandon should be off the coast for tomorrow, and we'll have a little bit of a break in between storm systems for, it's going to be like a 24, 36 hour maybe break in between those storm systems. So no severe hail expected for tomorrow. But then into the next few days, we're going to see another system back to back to back. We're moving into spring, so that's, to be expected. But here's storm system Brandon right now. There's that, that cold front that's setting up and pushing off the east coast. So that should be out of our hair by by tonight into tomorrow morning. And then we'll have a short little trough that's making its way through on Friday. Not expected to produce a ton of severe activity. We could get a little bit in Florida in terms of severe thunderstorms, but the rest of us should stay pretty quiet. We're waiting on this ridge to help us build back some of that heat and some of that humidity and that unstable air to come up through the Central Plains before we could get potential storm system Carter here making its way into the central part of the U.S. And with that trough, we could get another multi-day system producing all risks possible at this point. So we're watching into the beginning of next week for our next storm system to come through. And again, we'll see what we can get with that. But we'll keep you updated as always. If you guys want to follow us, you can get us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Hit See First on Facebook so you don't miss a live video. And make sure that you hit that notification bell and that subscribe button on YouTube so you can always catch us live there. And then go follow us on TikTok. We're always trying to post new stuff about what we do at our office and some of the weather team details and all of that stuff. So follow us on TikTok there, all at Hail Trace. And then if you want to get in contact with us, you can call us at 855-334-4245. You can also email us at info@hailtrace.com or check out our website, hailtrace.com, for more details on our company. But again, we'll keep you updated on your weather risks, and we appreciate your guys' viewership. But for now, I'm meteorologist Andrea Myers. Thanks for watching.